we're live right now. It's possible my chick is listening. So if I say anything stupid, I'm gonna
shout
go
out.
upstairs after the show, and she's gonna say, "Why did you say that?" So you know what? Doesn't
Well,
matter. I may,
it's possible my chick's listening, but she don't care, so I'm free. I can say whatever the fuck I
you
want.
well,
So
you're a unicorn, man. You can do whatever you want.
no, I'll get slapped. If I say something really bad, but we ain't gonna get to that point. But we do need to discuss this thumbnail and this topic tonight. I mean, I want you to go first, though. I want you to, yeah.
You know what? Well, first, before we jump in, we gotta say who
Okay.
what the show is. Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal, and this guy over here very excited to talk about the topic.
Man,
his
crazy.
name is Pedro. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Busy day. I'm good. Just today's been weird with yesterday with the time change. I forgot about it, and like today I felt it. It's only 1 hour, right? But like today just seemed like going by really quick. It got dark real quick, so it's just been a weird day today.
You know, that's a good thing that you mentioned this because I can't stand this stupid daylight savings time, moving time. Yeah, today and yesterday is like flown past. I feel like I haven't done as much as I would want because one minute I'm up and I get up, in the morning, and the next minute it's 7 o'clock in in the evening. Like, why do we continue with this policy of changing the times? It messes.
Do you know why do you know when it started or why I haven't done a deep dive into the history of it. I'm sure there's a logical explanation at some point, but as far as for money and commerce, I would imagine.
I'm thinking in terms of having more daylight to work.
Yeah.
So when the temperature, when it goes
nicer.
to you lose that daylight, but we don't work. I mean, at this point, in American society, we are working 24 hours a day, light or no light. So how about we stop changing the damn time? I'm just getting really, really annoyed with it because it kind of messes up your whole body. I felt that way when I traveled back. We went to LA. I traveled back. A good day, I was kind of like out of it. I'm like, I'm 3 hours of a difference. It just messes your whole body up. So even an hour makes a difference. So I don't know. We need to. I think at one point I thought either they had the House or the Senate. Someone was like, "Hey, let's stop this nonsense."
Jody just says because of World War II to conserve power.
Well, that's a good point.
That's interesting, I guess. So because of the sun and all that, right, and the moon, you're gonna have times where you don't need lights, right? Because there's more light out. Interesting.
Which makes sense. Which makes sense.
Which makes sense. And there was a lot of things going. There's a lot of stuff in America that we were doing at that time to save money and do things and bonds and this and that and try to get money and be stronger as a nation as far as like our worth, right? So that does make sense. I want to look into that and see, but it's a weird thing.
It's definitely something that we don't need anymore. I mean, we probably will we may get into WW3 soon, but at the same time, let's keep the times together. Let's not mess I don't know.
Yeah,
let's fight that. Let's get a petition together. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but good luck. You can start that.
Yeah. Activism is something that me and you are not interested in doing at all. It's like
no. No, I listen. That's not the fight I'm going to fight.
All right. Well,
I see some talk about the outfit already in the chat, and I think
everyone's in there throwing in their comments. Appreciate you guys for coming in as always.
Yes.
So I know how I'm gonna come across, but I think Pedro wants me to go first, which is outrageous.
I mean, I'll go first. I had no problem with it.
I didn't watch the Oscars. I'm sure you haven't either, right?
I did not watch, but I saw like who won some of the categories just on like the news and stuff. But like I didn't, or like maybe I saw it on YouTube actually. Yeah, but I didn't watch. I haven't watched.
I spend too much time on YouTube. I need to start watching movies again. So all those movies I didn't watch. I didn't even watch Black Panther 2. I didn't watch. I
haven't seen Black Panther 2 either.
I think we're so busy just in YouTube, watching YouTube, that we're not watching movies. Like I've watched movies on YouTube. Like they'll have a free movie of something I've seen 10,000 times, like Jingle All the Way, or Die Hard. I've seen that 10,000 times, but so I don't know any of the categories. The only thing I saw was obviously that dress. That's Sierra. We're gonna be talking about that. And
hold on, that I didn't realize that was at the Oscars.
After party.
Okay, I was like, "There's no way that she wore." I showed Madison,
maybe,
and she was like, "Was that at the Oscars?" I was like, "No, the Oscars is a little more buttoned up. Like, there's no way she wore that at the Oscars."
True. The only thing I saw noteworthy was Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress for some movie.
Yeah.
And when they, because what happens is they'll present the award, name the nominees, and then provide the person who won, and they have all the screens of all of the potential nominees. And when Jamie Lee Curtis won, Angela Bassett, brilliant actress. I love.
She was
She's a
just like,
fantastic actress. She was, I guess she was up for the award as well for the Black Panther too. She looked legit pissed off that she didn't
yeah,
win.
I think she
Didn't
expected to
clap,
win. I think she expected to win. Yeah.
but I thought that was kind of lame. Like Angela, you've had an accomplished career. I don't know if she won an Oscar. She definitely
She
been
has
nominated,
not. She has not won an Oscar. I think that's
but
why a lot of people thought she was going to win, kind of like legacy Oscar. Like
yeah,
for all the times maybe you should have won and you didn't, in accumulation, because it's not like her performance was like groundbreaking. I haven't even seen the movie, but
I haven't seen the
based on
movie.
what I've heard, so it was a little surprising. And yeah, but in
No
Michael,
matter how long you've been in the game, how
yeah,
long you've been correct you have your craft, and at this point, I think everyone knows that Angela Bassett is, she can act, great
yeah,
actress, and she's still so competitive that she wouldn't even clap,
yeah,
and which is weird because it's supposed to be the actors supposed to all support each other, but she kind of kept it real. But I thought
yeah,
it was kind of sad. Like, damn, you can't just be happy for Jamie Lee. Like, she's been acting for 10,000 years. But I
yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think she just expected to win, and she didn't. So that happens. You think, oh, this is my moment. I'm going to get my Oscar. I got my speech in my brain. I got my outfit on. Jamie Lee Curtis, like, what? The girl that does Halloween? What the hell's going on here? Like Michael Myers? Like, what happened? Did she make Halloween 40 and then they gave her an Oscar? Like, so I just
You
think
think she probably definitely felt that like she's not on my level, but Jamie Lee Curtis has been in a lot of movies. Hey, listen, her best
yeah.
movie, her best work, True Lies. There's a really good scene
Listen,
where
listen, listen, listen.
you know that scene. You know that scene.
Yes, yes, but
Fantastic work.
yeah,
Watch that movie. Great action movie, and she puts on maybe not an Oscar winning performance, but a solid performance
yeah,
in
for
that
about
movie.
2 minutes. Yeah, that's
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 all I
about
needed.
it. I think the other movie she was pretty good in. Um, there was something else I thought that a fish called Wanda. Have you ever seen that movie?
I've heard of it, never watched
Yeah,
it, but yeah,
I,
I heard
you
that a
might
million
like
times.
that, but she's not an actress. Like
Oh,
she's an
Giggity
actress, but
Trading
she's not.
Places. She was like the hot chick in that.
She was hot,
She was
yeah, but she's not like somebody you think of like as being like a really, really great actress. You think of Angela Bassett, she's got some really. House Taylor got a groove back.
yeah
She did the movie where she with Whitney Houston, Waiting to Exhale.
yeah. I
She's
mean, what's love got to do
Malcolm
with
X. She
it?
was in Malcolm
Is
X. She played
yeah.
Malcolm X's wife. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think her best movie, in my opinion, was her playing Tina Turner. Like,
Tina
what's
Turner,
love got to do with it? That
absolutely.
was because you
She still didn't get
you
Oscar.
everyone would look at Ike like, you piece of shit, and it was
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
are such a terrible person. Lawrence Fishburne, like he that was Ike, man. That was Ike
Great
Turner.
actor. Lawrence Fishburne can act. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So hopefully Angela kind of. I mean, I understand competitiveness and being real, but I think it's a community. It's acting is not sport. It's not like there's competitiveness, but she's gonna be fine. I'm sure she'll make another Black Panther movie. Whatever. I don't know. I thought that was weird, but the more important thing is what we're gonna be talking about now.
Put,
Russell
put,
Wilson.
put the picture up for
Oh,
context
you
at
want to put
some
the
point. Yeah.
which one? Which
At
one you
some
want
point
to do? The one
for the
with them
ladies and
together or by
gentlemen,
herself?
I want everybody to see because I know some of y'all might not have seen it. Maybe
Yeah.
you saw it on the thumbnail, but
Okay.
I hadn't seen this picture until.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
so Sierra is wearing basically some kind of see-through sheer long dress. I don't know what is this? What do you think this is?
To me, that looks like a swimsuit cover, like a cover, that you wear over a swimsuit. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's
But
like
it's clearly a sheer dress. Yeah.
yeah, barely there sheer knitted gown. If I like it, right? Now I'm a big fan of it, and she's wearing a thong as well. It's just
There's a lot
man,
going on there.
not much to the imagination.
No, not at all. And she's got 3 or 4 kids, and she looks like that.
Yeah, 37 years old.
That's crazy.
37 years old, and with a body that we all appreciate. I mean, the show could end right now. We could watch this for another hour. I don't, And then this guy with his wife. Russell Wilson, NFL quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Now he is playing for the Denver Broncos and had the worst season of his career.
Yep.
The question I have for you, Pedro, and the rest of the gang that's checking this out.
Let's get it.
Should Russell Wilson be okay with his wife wearing that outfit? Now, I know some of you guys like, what does you mean? Should he be okay? It's her choice. It's her choice. They're our team. They're married at this point, or at least I think I would say so, considering, I'm married. We all can't do everything we want to do. There's another mate. There's another partner there that has to say so, even if you don't think it's worth them saying it. But so she decides to wear this, and Russell's like, okay. What is your thoughts, Pedro? Do you think this is if you were Russell Wilson and you were married to Sierra, and she said, I'm wearing this to after party, how would you feel? What would you say?
All right,
let's get Russell out of here.
We don't need.
About that.
All right, this is I gotta speak my truth here, right? This is why you're asking me, right? So I'm gonna always keep it a buck on this show. Now you're asking me if I'm Russell Wilson, how do I, would I allow it or let, or how do I feel? And that's it's a hard question, but man, how do I say this without sounding a certain type of way?
Just say it, man.
Listen, if my wife wouldn't purchase something like that to want to wear it outside. Maybe inside. That's for us. Yeah. But I wouldn't be with a woman that would wear that to an event with tens of thousands of people. No, millions of people would see it.
Yeah.
And a podcast would be talking about it. And we, we're a faith-based family, apparently, right? So other people might be like, what?
And I do believe Russell Wilson is faith. I think he follows that.
Well, so is she, which is fine. It's not about that. But I throw that out there because it doesn't make a lot. It's weird. They got kids. That adds an element to, if she's, I feel like, and I don't want to judge her too much, like I don't know her, and do what you want. But you're asking me as a husband if I would, how I feel, or if I would allow or let my wife to wear that to a social event. No. And mostly because that's a private, it's nothing's to the imagination. If you're walking down the red carpet and that, like, there are strippers that wear more than that at the strip club. Like, I can see her everything. Crevice. Yeah. I can see the shape of things. I'm seeing her nipples, like, which is whatever. Guys have nipples. Nipples are overrated. Anyways, I like looking at them, but it's not a big deal, right? Yeah. So I would not, my wife wouldn't purchase that and say, hey, I'm going to wear this, or agree that my stylist said, hey, why don't you wear this? Clearly it's for attention, and she feels comfortable. This is my opinion. She feels comfortable doing that, which, hey, props to her. She looks absolutely phenomenal. Ego boost for her. She's got the whole internet abuzz right now, but she knows Russell Wilson's not going to say, hey, what are you doing? Because she wears the pants in that relationship. So Russell Wilson doesn't stand up for his own self on the football field. What makes you think he's going to do it at home? He ain't that guy. So I would not. I would look at my wife if she came out in that, and we're at home. We're going immediately to the bedroom. We're going to do what we got to do, because that's going to get me fired up. And then I'm going to say, all right, I ripped that off you. You got to wear something else. That's how I would respond in that situation. That's the best I can say. So,
Pedro, how many kids are you going to have eventually?
I'm done, bro.
Right. Sure. I'm sure. Zena's gig in the Great North said, I just opened the stream and see this. Hey, listen, it's worth seeing. Bobby says Jada gave her the okay. Russ has no veto power after the season he had. Good so this is the reason why I brought this topic up. If they want to run their family the way they want to run it, I guess, hats off to them. But it's Russell Wilson, the man that seems to not be able to kind of have any kind of authority or control, and so aloof, and things don't bother him. And so far, he hasn't really reacted publicly, or he didn't Will Smith it up where he lost his mind. So far, he just played football really badly last year. There's a lot of factors that
he kept it together.
Yeah, didn't people are yelling at him, teammates are frustrated with him, but he don't feel like he's able to kind of bring the troops together. It kind of like he's just too nice. He's too docile. It's things don't affect him at all. Like there's no fire. Then he has to have some fire. You can't be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You can't. I think he's probably going to make it to the Hall of Fame. You can't without showing any kind of emotion. So I think, yes, I think he should not really. When she decides to, I'm gonna wear this. He has to say, hey, no, that's too much. What are you doing? Is it an album coming out?
Let me ask you a question before you continue. Yeah. Do you think men, because that's what we're, have like a responsibility to tell or have an opinion on what a woman should wear if it's to that extent? Is that kind of where you're going with it?
Well, if we are, especially if we're married,
okay.
Dating, that could be a different conversation. But married, you together. So if I come outside looking ridiculous, I hope that she would kind of tell me too, hey, that outfit looks weird, or these pants are too tight, or whatever the issue may be. Yeah. So you want someone to spot you, to let you know. But it could be, like what Jody said, it could be attention. She's trying to do something. I haven't heard a song that she made in I don't know how many years. So like, what is she doing? She's 37 years old, have these kids. She's married to this guy, but she wants everyone to see her half naked. What's the end game here? Is she doing OnlyFans? Is she acting?
She ain't doing OnlyFans.
I'm just saying, like, so
well, maybe okay. Let's go a different route for a second. Maybe it's she's got kids and she's like, I feel great about how I look. I got my body a certain way. Obviously she's fit. She's taking care of herself. She wants to show that. Maybe it's a women empowerment. Like, look at my body. I'm body positive. There's a lot of that that's going around, right? It could be that. I don't know. I mean, she looks. I mean, clearly she looks amazing. Like, are we having this conversation if it's okay? Listen, I'll just say it because she's worn something similar. Lizzo. She's worn pants, and you see her entire ass, right? I've seen it. She was at a basketball game once, I think. She turned around and all ass, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry for reacting away.
Are we like, is that the same? It's because she looks.
It's not the same
way, so it makes it look more. It makes it look more slutty. I don't know. Is that even a word to use? Provocative. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't like either one of them. Well, okay. I'm lying. I like one of them. I don't like the other one.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
But either way, you're not going to like it if it's your wife. Okay, so let me spin it. Yes. Let me spin it. So you're not Russell Wilson. You're not, and your girl's not 37. You guys aren't married. You guys don't have kids, but you're going to the club. You're 25. What about that? Is it then different in that scenario?
It is different, but at the same time, you got to deal even with more stuff if you're in your 20s going to a club. So now do you hover around her the whole damn night? Do you have to watch her because how the thirsty dudes out there? She's wearing basically nothing. Men get drunk. They get way too aggressive or too assertive. So it brings a lot of problems. Even more problems than this situation. This is more like we're just talking. Russell Wilson, Ciara, they got enough security. Nothing's going to happen to Ciara. Yeah. It's more of
they're an event where it's not going to get crazy.
Nothing's going to get crazy. But I would say even in a club environment, when you are with a chick that's wearing nothing, that brings a whole, because men are creeps. We're fellow men. We understand that. And if you're not around, the moment you go to the bathroom or the moment you go get some drinks, now you got to deal with, like. So it would be a bit of a problem if I saw a date. I'm dating someone and they came to the club wearing that. That would be a red flag. Now, if you're just messing around, then that's not a problem. But also, I'm talking about, or we're talking about Russell Wilson here. He just don't seem to be the kind of guy that gains control. So there's rappers like, for instance, Ice-T and Coco.
Mm-hmm.
We could all see that Ice-T runs things. We could all see that.
Because Coco's worn something like that before.
Coco wears nothing.
Yeah.
But we don't say, Ice-T, he's a dummy. He just he got the modeling thing. She making money. He seems like he's the dude. Like he's just a pimp. Like he's just doing his thing. Why? Why do we look at Ice-T and Coco? We don't think Ice-T is a sucker. We don't think he's a simp. But we look at Russell Wilson and his situation, and we look at him as he is not in control of his relationship. Why do we have those two different viewpoints?
Well, I think it's because of how these guys move, their history, where they came from. Ice-T's from the streets. Russell Wilson's not, right? Russell Wilson, he's had questionable situations on the football field, how he carries himself. They're just different types of guys. Not one isn't better or worse than the other. They're just different in how they live. And, they're just different. They're just different. Russell Wilson he comes across as a little soft and kind of corny. Corny is a good word to use for him. People's memes about him. He's just weird. He's just different, right? So I think that when we see his wife wear that, it's like, yeah, he's weak. He can't stand up for whatever. He can't say, you're not wearing that. Like, put a jacket on. Like most of us would be like, what are you doing? Like, it's good behind the bedroom. I want to see that. Like, hey, it's lingerie. You're basically wearing lingerie outside. Yes. That's exactly what I've seen lingerie. Like, that is lingerie, right?
Yeah.
And she's wearing it to a event that's usually pretty formal, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think it's some kind of Vogue after party. She definitely wanted to, get the eyeballs there. And like, for me, outside of it looking, wear it. It's amazing. Wear it all the time. But that's not my woman. That's not my situation. So we're looking at it as you go into a strip club. And we all be honest, we want to see strippers, but we don't want our daughters to be a stripper or our sisters, or, you know what I mean? Like,
put up Bobby's comment. Put up Bobby's comment. I want to read
which one? Bobby right here. Or shortchanging Russ. Maybe he insisted she wear it.
Yeah, maybe he's like, hey, look at you. He just saw her come out the shower. He's like, you know what? I want you to wear this. I want you to show off like what I got. I want the world to see what I'm working with, because people think I'm corny and soft, but I got this. Maybe.
What do you think what Gig Giggity said? He said, if you're not wearing it, I am. Bobby, is possible. I would, if I had to bet, and we don't know. We're all guessing. I mean, this is the problem. When they put their stuff out in public, we guess because we don't know. We're not in that bedroom, the pillow talk. I think she decided to wear it, and he said, okay. I love you, babe. It's okay. Whatever you want. He's the whatever you want. Even though sometimes when women ask your opinion, they want you to, even if they just say something, to pretend to care, or at least pretend to care. And when you do the whatever, babe, whatever you want, they don't like that either.
Yeah.
Women are, they're confusing, but I know that for sure. Like, sometimes they want you to put your foot down on certain things, but and my guess, I think she said, I'm wearing this. It's going to help my career, or I'm trying to do something, or whatever, or this person's going to pay me a lot of money for this. This half naked gown I'm wearing. I'm wearing it. And Russell said, okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I was talking to my girl before, and Madison's not somebody that dresses like that, but she's gone out before, and she's had cleavage, or like had things to where men are looking at her, and like more so when we were dating versus when she became a mom. Now her style's a little different, because she's a mom. It's just different. Her everyday is different, But like, yeah, I always thought it was great when I walked into a place with her. We used to go to this one place, right? And we went maybe, I don't know, half dozen times. It was close to an apartment we used to live on when we were dating, right? We would walk there. And there was a couple times she looked real great, had a dress on, and guys looking at her, girls looking at her. I always liked that, right? Because she was, she looked good, but she wasn't like showing everything. You know what I'm saying? But she looked good. And I always thought like that was a flex for me. Like, yeah, guys and girls are looking at my woman. They want her. They're saying she looks good, or they're commenting her. I never got like offended, or like, because nothing ever went too far. It was just like, yeah, you look great. Or you see guys checking her out or whatever. You go to the bathroom, you come back, and there's a guy from across the room just staring at your girl.
Yeah, hovering.
That's a positive for me.
Right.
But my wife definitely, I would not go in public with her looking like that, because it's too distracting for even myself and then the people around me.
Right.
I don't know, but maybe Russell Wilson's super secure, and he's just like, I don't care. Like,
and it's possible he is, because so far he hasn't demonstrated the Will Smith effect, now I call it, where we thought that Will Smith had it all figured out. He drops all these great gems about, being who you are and facing your fear and the dude, skydiving, and you just seem like, man, what a positive person. Now we realize there's a lot of pain underneath all of that. That he, so far, all Russell Wilson is doing, well, at least last season was just not play well and throw a bunch of picks and embarrass himself.
Yeah.
But better coach now. Got the Sean Payton
Way
clearly,
better. Way better coach.
And he's letting him know that I'm running the show.
Yeah.
You're not running the show anymore. No special. I guess apparently there's a lot of special accommodations Russell Wilson was having, office, his entourage, all that stops. Now Russell realized that he really embarrassed himself with his play, getting paid too much money to play that bad. I think the Denver Broncos are going to probably make the playoffs. If I had to throw my guess out there, I think they get to the playoffs, and that's going to be hard.
Ooh, yeah, and the AFC
definitely a wild card, but he's definitely going to. I don't think they'll win the division. But
you think? Well, they did lose their running back in the beginning, like the first few weeks of the year, right? Yeah. Or maybe even before the year started. They lost a guy that was supposed to be good running back for them, right? And rookie Javonte Williams, I believe his name is. So he'll be back. That will help. They'll probably make some offensive changes clearly because it's Sean Payton, so that should help. They got some good weapons already on offense, but I mean, you're basically saying adding Sean Payton gives them another 7 wins, is what you're saying, and that's a lot. They're gonna.
It's a lot, yeah. But the defense is still solid. The offense just seemed they had nothing. Like it was just so lost, and they had Nathaniel Hackett, who should never have been a head coach. He shouldn't have never. From the first game, it was demonstrated he didn't know what he was doing. The first game, so yeah, it will be coach of the year type thing if Sean could figure it out. He has worked with a similar quarterback, at least same size. Like Russell Wilson is not a towering dude. I mean, obviously, Drew Brees wasn't a tall dude, so there's some schemes. I think Russell definitely overestimated, I guess, the coach, right? Pete Carroll carried it a little bit. I think we kind of realize that just how off he looked. Like Tom Brady didn't. I mean, obviously he went to another team and won the whole thing. But Tom Brady is Tom Brady. It didn't matter where he went. But Russell Wilson went somewhere else and he looked completely lost. So I'm throwing it out there. Like if there's a bet out there, I would put some money that the Broncos make it to the playoffs. And that's probably wouldn't be that's some odds on that. But I'm definitely interested in that. But there's a bigger news out of the offseason so far, with your Chicago Bears, who clearly said, listen,
Justin
to get
Fields,
that small
baby.
guy that everyone's talking about, we got our quarterback. Forget it. We're gonna trade to the Panthers, get a whole bunch of picks, and
Panthers got hosed. They got hosed.
Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, this is your team, and after your thoughts, I have a wager, but I just want to ask your thoughts.
So, I think I like that we're going to keep Justin Fields. He's under. He's not going to cost us a whole bunch of money, Right now, he's under that rookie deal, so we can build around him. He had a good year last year. I mean, look at what Jalen Hurts did in Philly. You can come. Justin Fields could take a step that's similar to what Jalen Hurts just did.
Yeah,
they play very similar styles. I mean, Jalen Hurts Justin Fields was doing everything. He was the offense, and when plays would break down, take off, run 60, 70-yard touchdown runs, running for first downs. In today's NFL, you kind of need to do that, right? That's the way the league's kind of going. So I think it's great. The number one pick, there wasn't anybody that was going to change your team right now, right? There wasn't like a phenomenal defensive end, a phenomenal offensive tackle. There wasn't like a great wide receiver that you just had to have, right? So for me, it's like, let's trade our first pick. Let's get a wide receiver because we need one. So now we got Darnell Mooney. So you got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and you got Chase Claypool. Not bad. Okay, we upgraded our wide receiver core tremendously, right? We got a good tight end, Cole Kmet. 2 good running backs still, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a good move, right? And then now we still get the 9th pick, and then we get some 2nd or 3rd round picks. I mean,
you think the Panthers that was a bad move?
Well, I think they like one of the 2 quarterbacks. They either really like Bryce Young or they really like CJ Stroud. So a quarterback's clearly going to go number 1, and they want a quarterback, and they can't get one of those guys at number 9. So they said, we need a quarterback. because we don't have one. So we're gonna trade away our wide receiver. We want a franchise quarterback. They're rolling the dice. But I think the Bears are saying, hey, we're looking to build. We want to stockpile some picks. We have our quarterback already. I think it's a great move. I think Ryan Pace, the GM of the Bears, did a great job. And I have a prediction. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's going to the Jets. That's what I've been seeing. I've been seeing some tweets.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's taking so long. Like this is like the longest rumor for the last 2 weeks. Like, is he going to go or not? I don't even know.
If that happens, the Vikings are still a good team. We're in the playoffs last year. Great offense. You still got Kirk Cousins. He sucks. The Lions are up and coming, but they're the Detroit Lions. So I think the Bears,
their quarterback,
the Bears could make the playoffs next year. Could really do some things.
Yeah.
Especially if Aaron Rodgers is out of that division. I mean, that's basically you're going to put Jordan Love or whoever you're going to put. I mean, that's 2 W's right there for the Bears because the Packers without Aaron Rodgers are not going to be a good football team.
No, not at all. So you're seeing pretty positive about your Bears next season, huh? Yeah. Okay, so last year we had this wager about who was going to win more games, the Giants or the Bears. Yeah. So this year, do you think?
Reminding me, by the way.
Well, yeah, listen, it happened, right? Do you think the Bears will win more games than the Giants?
Here we go. I mean, the Giants had a good year. They're going to have everybody back. I guess they're going to re-sign Saquon, right? He's still going to be there. I don't know, man.
We got Vanilla Vic signed, sealed, and delivered. $40 million a year.
He still has nobody to throw the football to. But I like the coach a lot. So I think it's close. At this point, I think at this point today.
Okay.
I think the Bears are still going to make moves. I want to see who they take at 9. I think there's value there. I think the Giants right now are a better overall team based on what they did last year versus what the Bears did. But the Bears are coming, and we're going to have a lot of money to spend. And I think the Bears' future looks good. If this guy can stay healthy, I think our quarterback's really good. So.
Well, Bobby says Fields is going to end up on the IR running as much as he does.
Maybe. It's
Has he had any serious? I know he had some injuries.
He's fine now. I think he missed. Did he miss? He was banged up. No, he was banged up a little bit. But I'm out. I mean, you get what you get. Like it is. He's the same with like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. These guys that run a lot. Josh Allen. Yeah, they're gonna take some hits, but now that you have DJ Moore on the team, this is a stud wide receiver. You're gonna have a guy that can get open a little bit, so he might not have to. When the pocket breaks down, he might be able to throw a 20-yard out route or something versus having to run for 20 yards, right?
Right.
So I think his rushing yards next year will be down. Okay. His rushing touchdowns should be down because he's going to have a better offensive team around him. So I'm not worried about that.
And Bobby did mention that Bears traded 2 of the 3 best defensive players on the team. Do you think that's going to do any damage? You think the Bears still going to be
they'll sign some people. I'm not worried. I mean, I think they're going to draft heavy on the defensive side, so I'm not concerned about it.
So since the Bears are still making moves, as you said, we will table that discussion.
Yeah,
but maybe towards the beginning of the season, I'll throw out the wager. Do you think Bears will win more games? And we agree we'll have some penalties. I already have one already thought of. It's fantastic. I don't know if you want to hear it now or you want to hear it.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
I don't want you back out and say,
Let's wait.
It's going to be, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. It's going to be very hard for you.
Okay, that's great.
But I think it turned out to be positive at the same time. So we'll table that discussion. Giggity, is there any hope for my sorry Texans? I don't even know. Are they still in the league?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. What are they doing? Who's their quarterback?
David Mills, I think. Is that? Yeah, David Mills. Yeah, the guy with like the skinny neck, like the weird looking dude. Yeah, they got rid of Lovie Smith, the head coach. Shout out to Lovie Smith. He used to coach. He coached the Bears the last Super Bowl we were in. But the Texans, ever since Deshaun Watson, they're nothing. So
yeah, I'm sorry. But you're in Texas. If you're in Texas, then who cares about the team? You're in Texas. Amazing.
You got other things to do. watch the college football and high school football is big in Texas, but NFL,
definitely. It's all right. There's some other stuff I saw. Jimmy G is going to the Raiders. Do you think that makes any difference?
No. Jimmy G and Derek Carr are very similar, so I don't see how that's an upgrade or a downgrade. So,
it's a 3-year deal. I guess just to have it, because obviously, Carr left, but
Yeah.
yeah, it just seems like it's more of a lateral move rather than an upgrade or a downgrade.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
Jimmy G, he wins games, right? I mean, is it just? I mean, I guess you could say it was all because he had a great team around him, but I
He
don't know.
wins games. He's been on two really good teams that had good coaching, good defenses, good play. Like, yeah, I mean, Jimmy G's not a bad quarterback, but he's not gonna like elevate you to a higher level than what Derek Carr was really doing. Derek Carr was putting up good numbers. He was, so I
Yeah.
feel like that's just like, let's just get the next best guy that we can. I think that makes sense, but it's not like Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. That's a
No, no, that's a
huge upgrade. Like
big
like
big
that's
deal.
like they're in the playoffs kind of upgrade, right? So I don't see that for the Raiders though.
Yeah. And Darnold went to the 49ers, I guess just to have someone else in the room. Just to have another
Yeah,
quarterback in there. I mean,
yeah.
clearly. I mean, I guess I guess they're gonna go with there's gonna be I guess a competition between Trey and
Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
I heard Purdy's hurt. I heard he's
He's
having some kind of surgery. He's going to be out for a little bit. I think Trey Lance is going to start the first week, and I think depending on how he plays, that will decide who's going to be the quarterback for that team.
All right, so there's a few really important comments we're going to address. Bobby says, "I bet Jimmy G lets his women wear fishnet." I
He
don't
dates.
even
Yeah,
know. Jimmy G, he's like he can tell that obviously I think he was a rookie. He was already like messing with like a bunch of like really
porn
popular porn stars.
stars and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? If it's a formal event, he ain't bringing no chick with a fishnet. I'll tell you that right now.
Probably not.
Probably not. He
Jimmy
doesn't
G's
need
living
to.
that life, dude. The dude looks like a
Yeah,
model. He's. I'm sure he's doing fine.
yeah, yeah. Of course. Gig, is the lingerie league still a thing? I still watch the old videos, Gig. I don't know if it's still a thing. If they legit had a game, I will go play. If I and it was in New York, I will go and watch it. Like
Listen,
I
if
would.
they if they're doing something like that and it's being like broadcasted or streamed, we'd have to do like a live stream
Oh yeah,
reaction
fantastic. Yeah.
to.
I mean, hopefully, we all can contain ourselves. I don't know
I
if
think
there
I'd be fine. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's weird to me.
is not. How is it weird? Women competing at the highest level,
I gotta
playing
see a face.
football,
I gotta see a face. I can't just. I
just see
have to
ass.
see. Yeah, because or if the helmet comes off and it's like she looks like a man. I'm done. I can't. I
Uh,
can't. I can't.
well, I'm looking for the height of competition. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
looking for.
Okay.
Clearly, you're
Yeah.
looking for something else,
Okay.
Pedro. And
Got it. Yeah.
actually, I'm looking up to see if it's still a league
I don't.
going on right now.
You know what? I bet it's not the same league, but I'm sure there is something similar happening at some parts of this country somewhere. I would guarantee it.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
have to be.
I'm looking. Also, it costs money to run any of these leagues. It's not as easy as just jump a bunch of attractive women and you just throw them in there. So I will do some more research on this to see if the league is still up and going. Giggity, if you want to help with some information as well,
some
we can
some
we
research.
can work on this. We could be like some sports journalists on the lingerie league.
We'd
But
be the only ones covering that league. I'm sure there
yeah,
wouldn't be anybody else
look,
covering
Bobby says, "Come on, Pedro, no holding calls, can't beat that."
it. I mean, I don't know. I've seen. I'd rather watch a lingerie league basketball game than I would a
Oh
football
yeah,
game.
I don't know if oh, because you're not on Instagram. So it's a Instagram handle called Buns and Basketball. Shout out
Mhm.
to Nova Dash, he knows what I'm talking about. And they're they're strippers.
Yeah,
There's just strippers playing basketball, and some of the strippers are. Oh, you thought that was uncomfortable with what Sierra's wearing? You
yeah,
know how like some women have a like what Drake said, an ass so big that
yeah.
makes everyone uncomfortable.
It's
There's a
like
few
that.
of those
Yeah,
players there, and you're
yeah.
like, that is just a
There's a
lot
lot,
going on.
lot happening. Yeah,
All oiled up buns, and you're all playing basketball. Now, some actually can play, like some
yeah.
actually can shoot the ball, but it's mostly just a spectacle.
It's a spectacle.
If that happened, I would check it out. And I'm not a big strip club person. I've been in a strip club in my life twice, maybe three
Okay.
times.
Wow,
Like I
that's
haven't.
that's actually shocking. I've been to a strip club more than you have. I thought it would have been the other way around.
What?
Well, with your affection of big booty girls, I thought you would have been dropping in when you were a younger man, just kind of Peruvian, looking around at the ladies with the big asses.
No, 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 no. I'm cheap. So both times I realized how much money I was spending. I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah,
bought 2 drinks. I'm spending almost $40. I'm
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But it was a cool vibe. But just yeah, when I know that the whole goal is to extract as much money out of me as possible, it's like,
Hmm.
nah, I'll rather just watch the Lingerie League on YouTube.
Yeah.
Giggity saying sideline reporter for sure. Drop a link. We're not gonna get into that right now, but don't worry. If the league is going on, we'll do some week recaps of
That
the
would
of
be a
the.
nice 1099 independent contractor gig right there.
You
Sideline
telling
reporter.
me, but also they want professional people. They want a bunch of
Yeah,
creeps.
we wouldn't know. I would just stand in one spot and just gawk probably and just walk
Dang,
around,
Gawk.
not know what to do. Yeah.
Like who's winning? What's the score?
What's the
I don't
score?
know.
What flag?
Let's
What's that?
we're all winning. We're all winning. Um. Oh. Oh. I forgot that we were supposed to talk about this. So Pedro went to Memphis to
Yeah.
see to
Oh
see
yeah.
the
Let's.
Grizzlies and the Dallas Mavericks.
I got so much to say
Break that
about
down. You could
that. Oh
sideline reporter for
yeah.
that
Okay. Listen.
situation.
Listen, y'all. We talk basketball here, right? We've talked Mavericks. We've talked Memphis, Ja. We've talked Luca. We've talked the Lakers. We talk all the teams, right? My nephew, 15. His name is Santiago. So his first name is my last name. We call him Santi. Shout out to Santi, right? He's not
Yeah,
watching, but I'll shout out anyway.
yeah,
He loves NBA, very knowledgeable, watches the game. Me and him talk about the NBA every time we're around. It's great. For the last couple of years, we've been talking about going to catch an NBA game. It was either like, hey, did we go to Chicago? Did we go to Indiana? I'm in St. Louis, so somewhere close. It's like, yeah, Memphis would be good. Jaws there.
yeah,
I told him for Christmas, I'm gonna get some tickets. So I look at the calendar. I'm like, ooh, he loves Luka Doncic. Like that's his favorite player, right?
yeah.
So I'm like, oh, the Mavs are going to Memphis, dude. It's a 4 hour car ride. I buy the tickets. I'm thinking, Ja versus Luka. This is prime time. This is fantastic. It's Saturday night. Let's go. His dad's coming with us. My brother-in-law. So basically, a week or two ago, I knew Ja wasn't going to play because everything that's going on. So we're like, okay.
Yeah.
At least we got Kyrie though. We got Luka and Kyrie. That's going to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So we get there, having dinner. Get there a little early. Go to a place called Rendezvous. So we went to Memphis. Never been to Memphis. It's basically St. Louis, just smaller. But we had a good time. Went to this amazing barbecue joint called Rendezvous. Best ribs I've ever had in my life. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Tennessee, I've heard like the
Dude,
barbecue is next
amazing.
level. Yeah.
It's like char grilled or char broiled. It was just everything was good. Everything that we had to eat was good. We're looking on the phone. Luka's out. I'm like, what the? Luka's out. What's going on? 30 minutes later, Kyrie's out. I'm like, so I just got these tickets, 3 tickets to an NBA game. Not cheap. Not cheap.
No, I
We've
can't
talked about
imagine how
this
much.
before
Yeah. Yeah.
about load management, and you go to a game, you're going to the NBA to see the players. That's what you're going for, right?
Absolutely.
I thought about trying to catch a Lakers game. Let's go see LeBron, but it just this seemed better. So we get these tickets from my nephew. No Luka, no Ja, no Kyrie. So I'm seeing second teamers play. Now, the game was phenomenal. Back and forth, close game. We had a guy in the Memphis, I forget, Rudy or something like that, had a career high, scored 24 points, had like 15 in the fourth quarter. Like the game was back and forth. The Mavericks were up, they were down, then they were up. Memphis comes back, so the atmosphere was good. The basketball game was great, but we had no star power, right?
Right.
So that's
You're trying to make money. You that's not going to work.
No.
People are not going to spend hundreds of dollars to watch just a good basketball game. They want to see those stars. So now you kind of looked at it in a different perspective. Because we talked about load management, how it can hurt the game because of the people who are paying all that money for those tickets. So how do you feel at the fact that you thought at least you'll see Luka? Because he's like he's been in better shape. Right. Kyrie, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. He's always seemed like he's out of it. And Ja totally embarrassed himself with what's going on. But how you feel about that, man? Like,
listen, it was a disappointment to say the least to not see those guys because we didn't have great seats, but the seats that we had, you can really see. These NBA arenas aren't huge, right?
Yeah,
it's not like watching
it's real on top of each other a little bit. Yeah.
So like to see the way these guys move, and it was amazing. I would have loved to see those three guys play because it would have been even better. The game, like I said, was really good. Like it was a really good back and forth game. down to the last minute. So that's, you can't ask for much more, right? But definitely disappointing. Definitely a little unlucky. Um, would I buy tickets again? Yeah, we'll probably go to a game again, maybe in the next couple years, few years, whatever. But I mean, and I saw Kyrie. So actually, we're filming some things and taking videos, and my nephew's having a good time. And he's like, "Oh, I think that's Kyrie." He had you could see him from a distance. Oh, I see it. So a guy's got a yellow bucket hat on. I'm like, "God, that does kind of look like Kyrie." At the
Yeah.
timeouts, they get up. I'm like, "That is Kyrie." So I
Yeah.
get on my video and I zoom in. So Kyrie was there. He was on the bench. No Luka, no Ja, but we saw Kyrie. So that was kind of cool. But he's in street clothes. I didn't pay to see street clothes. I paid to see him do his ball handling and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't win it all, but definitely disappointing. So
Yeah, I think the load management will need to be corrected eventually. I forgot who said this. I don't know if it was Paul George. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was a really prominent NBA player that said he thinks the load management is making the players weaker
mm,
by because and again maybe we're just being nostalgic but you see I remember collecting basketball cards. I'm sure you probably have when you were growing up, and you look in the back of the card and just see games played, and you be seeing people playing 70, 80, like
oh yeah,
you didn't
80,
see the
82
amount
is
of
normal.
like missed games as we see now, where yes, by load management you're basically saying the regular season doesn't matter. So why, if it doesn't matter to the team, then why it matters to me? Why am I paying hundreds of dollars to go to a game? Why am I paying for league pass to watch all these games where you don't know who's going to play because of the load management? I think eventually they're going to have to do something. I don't know what they can do, because on the player's perspective as well, it's like,
Yeah.
well, I want to have a longer career. Um, but LeBron didn't load manage until maybe the last 3 seasons, maybe two. Like, he didn't load manage. The dude played. He played all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I guess I think Kawhi Leonard is probably the guy who kind of started really doing this. Like I said, in the Spurs with
Mm-hmm.
Popovich. But I think eventually, I don't know. I think there are a lot of injuries happening, regardless of like Anthony Davis. I'm sure they load and manage him all the time. The guy's made out of glass. So is it, if you don't work your muscles out to the full extent, sometimes if you don't work out and you take time off, you could be a little weaker. I don't know. Like, what's your thoughts? Like, should they just keep this process going
Mm.
with load
Well,
management, or
the NBA Players Union is not going to pass or allow any type of like, you got to play a certain amount of games. They're just not going to do that. And even if they did, players would find ways around it. They got doctors, team doctors. Oh yeah, his ankle's hurt. They're not. You know what I'm saying? If you need a day,
right?
they're going to take a day. That's not going to happen. I think Giggity says maybe shorten the season. I think that's a better approach. But then the NBA owners are going to lose money, and they're not.
Yes.
That's not going to happen either, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, they'd want to add games, right? Now, I think maybe realistically they could go from 82 to 78. They can lose 4 games or something. I think that wouldn't be too much of a bite. And then those 4 games you would take off of some of your like back to backs, where some teams just don't have as many back to backs, and then that
Yeah.
allows an extra day off. And I think that's reasonable. But I mean, I saw a lot of Luka jerseys. I met people coming from Dallas for that game, kids, and they're like, that's my nephew was chill, like he had a good time, but like a lot of people were upset that these guys weren't playing. Like, and I saw it
Yeah.
firsthand, and
Yeah.
sitting next to a family and coming from Texas, and it's like, yeah, we got these. They got their tickets for Christmas too, and it's like, damn, like that's crazy, like for a kid to want to go see his sports idol or somebody he really likes, and you see they're not playing, that's a bummer for a kid.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan always said, hey, I try to dress every 82 because you never know who's in the stands. It's these parents are
Kobe,
spending
the same person.
exactly, spending hard-earned money, and to get these tickets. Some parents, they save up for a whole year to get a ticket to take their
It's
son or daughter,
it is expensive.
and then you don't get to see, like, come on, listen, I like the players. I like Tim Hardaway Jr., but like there were players on the Mavericks I had never heard of before, right?
Yeah.
That were playing, and one guy had like 20 points. It was like a career night for him on the Dallas. Another guy had 24 on Memphis. These guys,
somebody
good for them, they're
somebody had to
playing.
score the basketball.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like I didn't pay to see Tim Hardaway Jr. score 21 points. I wanted to see Luka Doncic do a triple double. I wanted
yeah,
to see what he looked like in person. Is he as slow as they say? What's his pace? I want to see Kyrie's handles. I want to see Ja dunk on somebody.
yeah,
That's why I'm paying $200 a ticket. I'm paying to see Ja dunk on somebody and see that atmosphere, that crowd go crazy. And we didn't
yeah.
get any
Because
of that.
yeah,
So,
and Jaws obviously. I mean, they. I'm not gonna put them up. I'm sure you guys can look it up. That there was some leaked photos of him at a strip club.
oh,
Tons of NBA
since
players
the incident, you mean?
since then,
Or
yeah. And then
that's
Powerade apparently is one of the main sponsors from Ja. They took ads uh featuring him off. I don't think it's because of the pictures, but it's just more of
yeah,
he got to clean himself up. I think there's some mental health issues. I think he's put a lot on himself. It's a lot going on. I'm sure the people in his circle are not helping him. His father did not help him. There's people, too many yes men in the room, and hopefully this is the low point, and he can kind of move past this because yeah, he could have been in that game easy. He's not hurt. He would have dominated the Mavs. No Kyrie, no Luca. He would have
yeah,
dunked it on everybody. So
yeah,
like even then, you'd be like, okay, I didn't get those two, but I have Ja. He's gonna do his thing.
yeah,
Home crowd is gonna be amazing. But even he can't, take care of his stuff. So
yeah.
I would love the season to be shorter. Like make the NFL don't have this problem. Most because those contracts are not guaranteed unless you're Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson.
Well, and
But there's
they're playing one game a week, and it's a more physical game. And but it's
one
17 weeks. It's one game,
it's
right?
it's
Every
extremely
week is
important.
different. Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
most important thing. Where at NBA, it just feels like a drag, right? Well,
yeah,
Bobby says we don't care until after Christmas.
yep,
Some people don't even care until after the All-Star game.
yep,
I don't know how strong a league can be when you don't care about half the season.
yeah.
If you don't care about half the season, like then what are we doing this for? Let's for the highlights. So some of the stuff
Well,
that
but that's
happens
what
during
the
the
NBA is. It's a star-driven league. You see their faces. Like what I'm saying. Like it's not hockey and football. There's like you see all these guys' faces. It's big on social media, YouTube clips, Instagram clips, highlights. Like you don't have to follow every single game every single week in order to know what the superstars are doing. They're
yeah,
being talked about on First Take every single morning. Like all these podcasts. Like so these guys get so much publicity and stuff that they can be like a Kawhi and play 50 games a year and still be a little bit relevant and maybe be ready for the playoffs. They don't need to shoot up for 82. They just don't. I think they know that.
yeah. Well, obviously, and then how terrible the what do you call it, the All-Star games. It's just there's I just feel like there's some elements that they need to kind of all right before it gets so bad that people stop watching because that's when things go bad. When people are like, this is stupid. Like I'm not
Yeah.
wasting my time, or I'm not going to pay for league pass, or I'm not going to go to these games. Hopefully, they can kind of see that and kind of fix it somehow. I know they have the preseason. I don't think cutting preseason is going to make a difference. It has to be the main season. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I also got to say this one more thing about Memphis. Memphis
sure.
is it has some St. Louis affiliation. We didn't recognize it until we got there, but we realized it. So the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, right, our hometown baseball team, their AAA affiliate club is the Redbirds, and they have a stadium in Memphis. So we get down there, and there's a stadium next to FedEx Forum, like maybe, I don't know, a few blocks or something. And we're like, what's that? What's that? And it's the Memphis Redbirds, which are the affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. So that was kind of cool. And, we were talking about, is Memphis South? Is it Midwest? And Memphis is kind of the gateway to what they call the Mid-South, like a little bit of a history lesson going down there, right? Yeah. But it's a smaller city, at least it appears to be. I didn't look up the numbers in St. Louis, and I'm sure it is. But very similar in architecture, the look of it, kind of old and dingy in certain areas, very much like St. Louis
it's
downtown.
hood up in there. I know
it's
that.
Hood in Memphis. I noticed
were you
that.
in North Memphis?
Wherever the Forum is, we just stayed right in that area. I'm not really sure. It was 4 hours from here, easy drive, right down 55 South, one highway. But it's definitely the hood in some parts. Memphis has got a lot of crime, and you hear about that kind of stuff. But people were cool. I mean, atmosphere of the game was really good. But I wanted to mention, so when I go to certain sporting events, I usually buy something as a whatever for somebody, myself or somebody. So I got my girl this like crop top kind of hoodie with the Memphis Grizzly logo, right? Because they had like some kind of sale on them. So I go to the store, I pick it up. I'm like, yeah, all right, it's like $38. I'm like, whatever. So I'm looking at these sweatpants. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll get me some sweatpants. Like, why not? I like sweatpants, right? So I'm at the checkout, and there's a rack behind me. I'm like, I think I'm just going to take these and buy them. And I'm thinking, they're going to be $50-$60. That's like a lot for some sweatpants for me. But I'm like, I'm going to treat myself, right? I don't treat myself. So I grab it off the rack. I got my girl's hoodie in one hand. I got it here. I take it up to the front, and I look at the tag because I got to look before $145 for sweatpants.
Inflation.
To me, that's absolute insanity. But I get to some of y'all kids that are buying like Gucci sweatpants or whatever you
Not
guys
my kid. I'll tell you that right now.
$145. So with tax, you're talking like $160 for some sweatpants. Crazy.
Nah,
the merchandise is just nuts, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's they're trying to recoup on something. Man. That's the problem too when buying stuff when you're at the arena. Everything is ridiculously too expensive. This is not how much you paid those people in Vietnam to stitch that pants, and now pass the savings on to me.
It's crazy. What was it, Chris Rock, the Lululemon? Remember when he was talking about?
Yeah, like we're gonna pay $100, and then you're gonna tell me what your social justice. I don't care. Does it pay? Like the pants help his balls sweat?
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy, man. I was looking at hats. The hats were like $60, Hannibal. Yeah. For a hat. I'm like, listen, I know inflation's a thing, but like that shit, sweatpants for $145. Like I was like disgusted.
It's just not going to work. And also when you don't, our position in life, or at least our occupation, like there's not like a salary coming, so like we don't know when the money may end, right?
Yep.
But you out there in Memphis, and it's like you enjoyed yourself. Did you run into anybody? Did you see Juicy J at all? Or like
no, I saw a lot of people that look like Juicy J. I would say we were walking in that concourse. Everybody looked like a rapper. It was awesome. Like I'm walking around, this
like
guy,
bunch of Project Pats and
a lot of Project Pats, gold chains, and just fashion out the ass, like people dressing up. Like the atmosphere was really, really, really good. Families as well, but like, dude, a lot of like young dudes there and women, and they were just like they were dressed up like they were going to a club, but they're at the game. It was wild, man. Yeah.
Listen, when we talked about best hip hop states, states with the best rappers, and I really felt bad about Tennessee. I did not put them up there, and I it's just funny we're talking about going to Memphis, but just going to YouTube, Project Pat, man, the music still's great. It's catchy. The whole sound from that, 3 6 Mafia, and obviously Pat, that was some really good hip hop, and it holds its own against even Georgia. Like it's really, really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
I was just listening to just old school Project Pat, from the 90s, early 90s. A lot of great albums. Obviously, 3 6 Mafia put Memphis on the map. I mean, 3 6 Mafia are Oscar award winners.
Yeah.
Like
for Hustle and Flow.
Yeah. Right? Like they're a big deal. I mean, Juicy J, I'm a big fan of his. I don't know how much drugs that man have had in his body, but he seems like he's like a machine. It doesn't affect him. Yeah. But he had like one really good album by himself called Stay Trippy. I still listen to that. It's if you smoke weed, fantastic album. It hits. It slaps. And I'm thinking like maybe I should be going to Memphis. Maybe you should have your conference in Memphis, Tennessee. Forget Nashville.
I actually thought that crossed my mind as I was going down because it would probably be cheaper to do it there. But I don't know. Memphis has got some. Listen, we parked in a parking garage that was 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. I don't know, walking distance to the stadium. And as soon as we come down, elevator, boom, we're in the alley that looked like the alley that Batman's parents got spanked in. No, I referenced. I was like, dude, this looks like the Batman alley from Batman 1. Like, and homeless people just like legit sleeping. And this is like, we got there at like 4 o'clock. and they're just like everywhere in this alley. And I'm like, damn, this looks a little creepy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I probably would not have it in
Yeah,
there.
probably would not be a more responsible because
Yeah,
also who's gonna show up but me? I'm like,
true.
I'll be coming through like, yo, where's Juicy J at? I guess forget this conference. Like, we'll see some Key Glock and yeah, rest in peace
Yeah,
to damn, the guy I just lost the name of the dude. Big deal out of
somebody else passed away.
Memphis. A while ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna. I'm sorry. I gotta look this up.
You
But
gotta
yeah,
look it up. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Memphis don't play around. They hurt. Oh yeah. Obviously, Gangsta Boo. She passed. She was 43. What else? Who else? It was. I know you guys are not gonna know in the chat because you guys don't be listening as much rap. I'll forget it. I'm not gonna even say it right now. But definitely that's one of the places I'm gonna have to visit.
it was cool, man. And like I said, the rendezvous place, the barbecue. We get to this place. It's like this place has been there since 1943. Looked really old, huge place, great architecture. One of those places got all kinds of crap on the walls. Just the history of the place. I'm telling you, I've had some good food, but the menu is kind of small. They don't have a lot. It's one of those places where like when you order something, like the sides is what you get barbecue. You get barbecue baked beans and coleslaw, and they were both really good. Like really good. I had
Yeah.
ribs and some chicken. Like the food was amazing. It was quick. Wasn't super expensive. They were super busy, but we got in and out. Like the best ribs I've ever had. It was so good, man. Like it was.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I've heard some great things. Like Tennessee barbecue. They say it rivals Texas. Like
Yeah,
the rubs and the meticulous nature of how long it takes to cook food. I watch so much of this stuff
yeah,
online or on like Netflix, seeing like a barbecue show and just sitting there drooling. Like,
yeah.
man,
It
I
was
gotta go
so
find
good.
something to eat. So, definitely, man. I will definitely check out Memphis one time while I'm still around. So, but on that note. Wednesday. I'm going. Yeah, I gotta provide my Creed 1 review
So did you
because
watch it
it's
yet or
been.
not? You still haven't watched
I
it.
still haven't yet. This time has messed me up. Like time is going too fast. So I want
Yeah.
either next two. I think tomorrow I'll throw on Creed 1 and just watch it through.
You don't need to watch both of them. Just watch Creed 1. I mean, Creed 2 is really good. It's a different type
It's
of
more the
movie. The
same.
storyline's different, but you got to watch 1 first. Definitely watch 1. I haven't seen 3 yet. I
Okay.
almost went to watch it today, but I got too busy. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I got to watch it.
What I've heard is, and I'm sure you guys know, but Sylvester Stallone is no longer a part of the
Yeah.
Creed 3
Yeah.
franchise or the Creed franchise in general. I think there's a little bit of this creative differences. I think Michael B. Jordan, because he actually directed, he wants to go in a different direction.
Hmm.
I think Sylvester Stallone wants to keep it old school with probably the underdog story. That's what I'm guessing. And Michael B. Jordan probably is like, let's evolve the character. It can't just be the relationship between him and Rocky. He needs
Yeah.
to find his own path. And I
I
think,
get it. I'm not mad that he's not in it. I love Sylvester Stallone. I think
yeah,
he's on. I like the Balboa character, but I get it. And
yeah,
Michael B. Jordan's directing this movie for the first time. I kind of understand it. And
yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's fine. We don't need to worry about. He's doing okay. So
No, but I feel like at the same time that is kind of his baby, but at the same time, he don't own it. And that's another thing he was
yeah,
really upset about.
yeah,
Apparently, he sold a lot of the rights to the movie. I guess as a mistake. I guess he regrets it, but he was, one of those struggling actors, and he is fighting with this guy who owns kind of most of the work. So there's a little bit of that going on too. But I've heard some good things. I mean, the two guys, I forgot the other guy's name, but he
uh,
looked amazing.
Major. Yeah, I mean,
Major, like
they
he
look
looks
like
like a
they got
beast.
great chemistry. I think the storyline's cool. The things I've heard that were negatives were there's some character things about Adonis's like childhood that they don't bring up in the first 2 movies that are pivotal things that happened to him, and then you hear about it in the 3rd movie, which is odd.
It's
Things not
odd.
mentioned in the first 2, but then like so people are giving Adonis Creed's character a little bit of trouble because of like how he's acting and like how he's treating this old friend of his. And so I think I'm sure it's going to be good. I
Yeah.
heard the cinematography for the boxing scenes
Yeah.
have a lot of anime
Influences.
references
Yeah.
and anime like uh, right references basically. Because I guess
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's an anime fan, so I've heard some good things about the fighting scene. So I'm really looking forward to
Yeah,
watching.
it should be fine. And I I still love the sport of boxing. Like nothing gets me more excited than watching a great boxing match, even though the sport is we have some highs, like there's certain fighters you care about, but it's few and far between compared to the rest of the sport. So like even mixed martial arts, I think people still care more about that than boxing. So the boxing's still doing well. Like it made a lot of money. Like when will it ever get back to that point where there's at least, I don't know, 10 boxes you care about compared to now, I don't know, it's
No,
3?
no. Now, if you're a big fan, a true historian or fan of the sport, yeah, you can name the top 10 pound for pound guys, whatever, in all divisions probably. But I could see one guy coming in if the heavyweight division or something, because we've seen other divisions, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, Ryan Garcia is going to fight the Javante Davis kid. That should be a good fight. There are other fighters that get, plugged, but you need a heavyweight. And I could see one coming and then just, maybe, doing this thing in the division for a couple of years, but it's not going to be like it was, man. I just don't think I don't think we're going to have a Tyson or even like a Lennox Lewis or a Vander Holyfield or a Foreman or a we're never going to see guys like that. Not on that level, I don't think.
Gotcha. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the movie is. Nova Dash says it's a solid movie, so we check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
And Giggly said he sold the rights years ago. Stallone has nothing to do with those movies. Yeah, I mean, you realize now as a businessman, even as an actor or as a creative, you don't want to sell everything. It's like, hey, listen, I'll give me some percentages, give me some points on this. I think that's something I've realized where you sell everything blindly and then that they take you what you created and make billions, but you get nothing. Where you could have said, yo, give me a percentage. You kind of ride with the success of whatever product you have. So, lesson learned.
And he was in the first two, and he was a prominent figure. And I think you're going to really like the first one. I hope you do. He was his character and things that you found out about Rocky and the first and second, but especially the first one, like he's in, like Sylvester Stallone's in that movie. For me, he's like kind of the main guy in the first one. So I wonder what they do with the third one. Like, how do they say he's not in it? Does he pass away? I'm curious to see how they handle that. Yeah. If they even reference it, I would think they would, but we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. So yeah, so next by Wednesday, I'll give you guys a full breakdown, and I'm sure we'll be talking about some other stuff. I'm sure there's always something else going on. But
can we put up that picture? Put up the picture for Sierra one more time. I mean, Nova missed it.
What's the one do you want to see? The front and back
one. All right. So that's what the topic tonight for all you guys that came in late and women. How do you feel about your wife wearing that outside to a party? That's what we talked about in the beginning of the show. If you go back and rewind, you can listen to our thoughts. So there you go. Sierra in all her glory.
I still thank her for wearing it. I thank her immensely. She's doing the Lord's work. But if you're Russell Wilson, that's a different conversation. That's the whole main point. Like yes, I have no problem with her wearing it.
No Dash is going crazy in the comments.
Because it's not your Dasher. Yeah, you gotta watch the Oscars, man.
Yeah.
Giggity says, how my wife feel about me wearing that? The same feeling I will have. You wearing that?
So Hannibal, I got an outro question for you. How much would you have to be paid to wear that in public?
The least amount of money or the most least amount of money?
Yeah,
that's when you really. That's when the
what
real,
does that check need? How many zeros on that check for you to go out at a party and wear that outfit? How many zeros?
Okay, you may think I'm a cheap whore.
Oh, okay.
But if you said $5,000,
dang, 5 G's?
The least. This is the least amount of money I would take.
To wear that.
Problems when you do that, you be like, give me $1 million. Like, no one's gonna give you $1 million. So if someone said, Pedro, I'll give you $5,000 to wear that at a party. $5,000 at a party one night. Let's say you got to stay out. You got to stay there for at least 3 hours.
Hell no, no way.
5,000.
No, absolutely.
Oh, Pedro, you're such a prude,
dude. No, it's not about being a prude. I don't want my ass on the internet for
Oh yeah,
everybody. Like,
and
I'm good.
you gotta wear the
I'm
thong. You
good.
have to
You
wear
gotta
the
wear a
thong
dong
too.
too for 5 Gs.
5,000.
Nah, you add one more zero to that, then I do it. For 50K, I'll do it.
50,000. Who's paying you 50,000 for
I
you to
don't.
thong?
Hey, this is a hypothetical. Who's paying you 5,000 to do it? Who cares, right?
Nova really thinks a lot of himself. Someone has to give him 200.
250,000,
Okay, Nova. All right.
bro. Listen, two hundred
We
fifty
know
thousand. I'll do
no
a lot
one's
more than wear that for $250,000. Okay.
so me saying 5,000 makes me some kind of cheap
You said you were cheap whore, and then you said 5,000. So that's exactly what you are.
four
Okay.
4 hours for 5 Gs. That's a pretty good price
Yeah,
to
but
money
what about
ratio.
after? Think about your legacy, bro. Your son's
My
gonna see you
legacy.
out there like that.
That's
Like, come
true.
on, man. Come on.
Who's gonna take? All right, no pictures. That's who's gonna
Oh,
stop
no
that.
pictures, no evidence. Oh, that's completely different. But I'm assuming people are taking pictures. So
Oh, Nova said his cheeks are pricey. That's
that's a good
true.
way to
Hey,
end the
listen,
show. I think that's a
you
good
got,
way to end the show.
yeah. You know what? Listen. Know your worth. If you are double cheeked up like her, they probably pay her to wear that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you're cheeked up this way, it's
Yeah.
things come to you. But hopefully, Russell, get to the playoffs, man. And then no one cares about this. Get to the playoffs, play better, because that was bad.
Yeah.
That was so bad last year. So we're rooting for Russell Wilson.
We'll see.
He's
got that going on for him, so he's lucky already. He's
yeah. He doesn't need our
he don't need our help. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you. It was another fun show. Obviously, we like our women wearing like watching them wear that, not our women, but you get the point. We get the point. Thank you guys for coming through. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Peace.